Pellet Flame is a company that manufactures pellet fuel. Pellet fuel is an environmentally correct energy that is becoming very, very popular, particularly in Europe, to address the reduction of CO2 emissions.
This is typical sawdust residue. We take in 35 loads of this every day. It's at a 50% moisture level, and that's what we take the moisture out of, and that gets it ready for the pellet extrusion.
Back in the early 80s, mid-80s, I was involved in the livestock feed industry. The margins were minimal, so I was looking around for different options. And I came upon this individual, and he enlightened me that there was an opportunity developing for this niche little pellet fuel. And so it piqued my interest because it was basically utilizing wood residue up in this part of the world, and the interior of BC we got an abundance of and wasn't utilized. So that was the catalyst to start this process. But prior to that launch, we had to create a market for wood pellets in this region, basically out of our garage, our basement, if you will, by selling the pellet appliances and growing a homegrown market for it in preparation for going into the manufacture of wood pellets. We refer to ourselves as a biomass refinery. We're taking this unmanageable residue because it has such a high moisture level. The energy value in that form really is not conducive to transport. So by our process, taking that moisture and eliminating it, we make it very manageable and consistent in energy value. We've grown to a company that's within the top 10 in North America, producing 110 to 120,000 tons per year, with gross revenues now ending up in about $10 million range for our company.
This is the finished product. We've taken the residue, condensed it to a form that now is about 40 pounds per cubic foot. Gives us an energy value of about 18.5 gigajoules per ton.
Our clients in Europe are heat and power producers. We have clients in Sweden, Denmark, Belgium, the Netherlands. All of these producers are doing whatever they can to reduce their CO2 levels. And utilizing biomass has become the most reliable and sustainable energy. Wind and solar all have their part to play, but they're a little expensive and somewhat unreliable. If we're taking it overseas, we sell it for the heat value. The power plants that we deal with convert this back into electricity in their thermally operated power plants, and they're displacing coal. Pellet fuel, in terms of heat value, is not a whole lot different than coal, and it handles the same. So retrofitting to utilize pellet fuel for them is not that elaborate. They can retrofit quite easily. Our biggest cost, obviously, is transportation. From our plant in Prince George through the Port of Vancouver, onto a vessel, through to Panama and over to Europe, obviously, has got a large impact. Not as much as you'd think it does in terms of the distance it's got to go, because the synergies are in the volumes, of course. Competitors in the developing countries have been our biggest challenge. They don't have the social economic responsibilities that we do. They influence the market with lower pricing, but they're also inconsistent with their product and their deliveries. So that makes it a little tough for us, especially when we're trying to raise the bar. And it's going to continue to be what plagues us somewhat in terms of growth. The pellet fuel industry in North America, and BC particularly, is, in my view, maturing quite well. For the most part, all its competitors do communicate somewhat and share some technologies that help us to grow. We're not to a point where the commodity has this benchmark pricing system, such as oil or gas or some of the other commodities. So it's basically based on a supply and demand. Right now, demand is high, and ironically, we're not seeing the pricing reflect it. There's still enough competition in the market that basically deteriorates any upward movement, if you will. Money's not the motivation, it's the reward. To see an opportunity such as this industry is, taking residue, utilizing it, putting it into an energy form that can transport anywhere in the globe, put 35 living wage jobs together, making sure that they see security for years to come. That's what motivates you every day. My future probably is going to be wrapped up here for a little while longer yet. Like to take what we've got started and expand it some more. I want to eliminate a lot of the stress and the risk that I took. And I think that our company is at a point that will afford me to do that.